Welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is Morgan at splendid.yoga. I've got some yin shoulder stuff for you today. So it's two poses. We're going to hold them for a few minutes each. Let's do it. Let's get started. Lay down on your belly. Yeah, with your legs out behind you as wide as they need to be so it's comfortable for your back. And come into a sphinx position with your elbows underneath your shoulders, your arms out in front of you, and scoot your elbows a little more forward than your shoulders. And take a few shoulder rolls here, one or both at the same time. Move your neck around a little bit. Yeah. All right, so shoelace is our first pose. The arm shoelace. Take your right arm, thread it behind your left elbow. And now we have a bunch of options. So you can take your left arm, place it parallel with the short edge of your mat, and place your forehead on your left forearm. So you're still putting a lot of weight on that right arm, probably feeling this in the upper outer arm, the deltoid area. If you're not quite feeling it yet, you want some more, you can reach your left arm in the opposite direction of the right. So the left arm's reaching over to the right, kind of like you're about to give yourself a big bear hug, but your arms are resting on the ground. Now your palms can be facing up or down, and depending on kind of where you landed here, you want these arms crossed up by your clavicles. So for the ladies, you want them like above your ladies, and then you tuck your chin over the edge of your bicep there, and you let yourself hang out. Now this one can feel like a lot from the start. It's also one that can like build to a lot. So make adjustments as needed. Come in, come out, but try not to fidget here. We encourage you not to fidget quite so much in this pose. So um, yeah, if you need to go deeper still, as time passes, the sensation may fade. And so if you want to go deeper, you can bend one knee up and off to the side, kind of like a Captain Morgan leg. That puts a little bit more weight there on the leg. Alternately, if this is just way too much, you can take this from a child's pose position where you start from a kneeling position with your hips back by your heels, and then you thread your right arm underneath your left armpit. And it's more of a thread the needle. All the same benefits. Just depends on what sensation you want for your body in this moment, and this moment, and this moment. And notice how it changes. It changes every moment, does it not? Every moment, there's a new message being sent to your brain. There are new nutrients flooding in from the breath that you've brought in, from the pump of your heart, moving everything through your body, from all those organs, all those cells, all that DNA, all that intelligence that's in there, just doing its thing for you on all these crazy things that you do to your body. It's fixing all those things just as quickly as it can. The thing about healing is it's not always when we want it to be, right? And it's an exercise in patience. So if you have some shoulder stuff, this is really intense for you. This is probably going to be more of an intense healing process. It's going to feel like these few minutes are taking a long time. Isn't that interesting how time expands and contracts according to our relationship to it? We'll spend this last minute or so in silence. Now, a minute can really feel like a long time, and it can fly by. So notice what that experience was like for you, and then let it go. because you've got another minute coming, but not in this shape. Slowly ease yourself. Ease your arms out from underneath you. Get your legs sorted out back behind you. And we're just going to go right into sleeping fairy. It's kind of the opposite stretch to what we were just doing. So extend your arms out to a T. Set your right ear on the ground. Bend your left knee. Slide your left hand underneath your left shoulder. Push yourself onto your right side body. So your shoulders, your hips stack left on top of right, and your left foot comes behind you. Now we have a bunch of options. Again, with your left arm, it might feel good to have it there as a kickstand, or you could reach your arm up and dangle it behind you. That's like your fairy wing. Or you could take the half bind with the left arm folded behind your low back. You can bend your right knee up towards your chest. That creates a nice kickstand for your torso. Or you could scissor your legs straight out. So we're looking for a stretch along the front of the right arm, along the pectoral muscles. So maybe somewhere in the chest or the front of the shoulder. If it feels like your head is reaching towards the ground, grab a pillow or a blanket or a block or something to set underneath there. If you don't feel anything here, change the placement of your right arm so you can crawl your fingertips forward towards your head or back towards your booty, or even cactusing your arm. That's a really juicy stretch. So you can check that out if your shoulders are really open. You want to explore something a little deeper. So there's a twist element happening in the spine here, so be mindful of that as you breathe. Feel it. Feel the organs mushing up against each other, the different effect of gravity than they're used to. Feel your breath in their lungs, pressing naturally against your rib cage. The gentle whoosh of your exhale and that release of all the effort, all the stuff you've been holding on to in those shoulders. Imagine every exhale, it leaking out of you into the ether, just floating away, energy you don't need anymore. It's not good or bad energy, these things that we hold on to. Just stuff we don't need. We don't need to hold on to anything. We'll spend this last minute or so in silence, letting go. Notice once again, was that a long minute? Was that a short minute? An average sized minute? Just kind of notice. And ease yourself out of this one. Place your left hand on the ground. Ease your way onto your belly. Sort your legs out. And push back to a child's pose or any other position that feels like a really easy release from that long shoulder opener. You could move into a tabletop position and do some shoulder rolls, or a seated position, shoulder rolls. Yeah, and we're going to move into the arm shoelace on the other side. So slide back into a sphinx position as you're ready. Thread your left arm underneath your right armpit and lay your shoulder down. Then decide what this shoulder wants. You can bring the right forearm underneath the forehead. You can reach the right arm in the opposite direction. Lay your chin over the biceps, if you take that option, on a blanket, on a pillow, or not. Now, because most of us have a dominant hand, we just have more muscles in one side of our body than the other. And we talk about balance in the yoga practice, but we're not talking about symmetry, right? The body is not symmetrical. You have different organs on one side of your body than on the other. You have different things that you do with the left side of your body than with the right. And that's just something to embrace. It's not something to try to fix. It's not something that's wrong. But here is where you notice, okay, so maybe you're still feeling this more in your dominant arm. Maybe you're feeling this where you felt it on the other side in a slightly different way. Or maybe the sensation has moved entirely to a completely different spot somewhere in your shoulders. But you want to feel something. You're here to feel something. It's your ego, it's your judgment that decides if it's good or bad, if it feels good or if it feels bad. And the practice of the yogi is just to feel it without that judgment, with the wisdom to know that if you're moving into something painful, you move away from it. But that discomfort is a part of it, right? Life is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. It's finding peace within that discomfort that we ease our suffering. We find peace when we feel gratitude for the present moment. So over and over again, as you allow gravity to bring a big stretch into your deltoids, into your trapezius muscles, express gratitude. Say thank you. Thank you, arms. Thank you, shoulders. Oh my gosh, you do so much. I use you all the time, all day long. I'm using these shoulders. They do so much for me. They're doing such a good job. Thank you, shoulders. And like a mantra, that refrain, every heartbeat, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let that gratitude soften you. And we'll do about a minute of silence from here. Notice again any judgments with your relationship to the time that has passed. Ease your way out of this pose and away from that judgment. Slide your arms out from underneath you. Ease your arms out to a T. Set your left ear on the ground. Bend your right knee. Slide your right hand underneath your right shoulder. Push yourself onto your left side body so your right leg lands behind you. And make your adjustments. Move your left arm to a place where you feel the sweetest stretch for the front line of your shoulder. Arrange your legs in a way that they don't have to work very much, but they provide stability even here on your side. Land your right arm where it's most beneficial for the left shoulder. Set up a pillow underneath your head if it feels like it's reaching towards the ground. Then land. Over and over again, land in your body. As the thoughts take over and rob you of the sweetness of the present moment, come back to the sensations in your body. Feel them. Send them gratitude. And send the thoughts gratitude as well. The thoughts think they're helping, but you know they're not. So you say, thank you, no thank you, thoughts. I'm feeling my body right now. Thank you, body.